Today we're reading Psalm 46. It begins with a statement that feels steady right away. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Before anything else is described, the foundation is laid. God is refuge, not will be, not might become. A refuge is a place you step into for protection. It's not theoretical, it's practical. When something feels unstable, a refuge is where you regain your footing. The psalm doesn't start by describing the storm. It starts by naming stability. God is strength. That word doesn't mean loud power. It means reinforcement. It means support that holds. It means something solid underneath you. And then it says, a very present help. Very present. Not distant, not delayed, not symbolic. Present. That matters, because when life feels uncertain, the first fear that creeps in is usually distance. Distance from clarity, distance from peace, distance from support. But this psalm says our Father is present help, right here, not watching from afar, not evaluating from a distance, present. Then the psalm continues, therefore we will not fear, though the earth gives way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea. That's dramatic imagery. Mountains shifting, ground moving. It's describing instability on a large scale. But notice the order again. Stability was declared first. God is refuge. God is strength. God is present. Because of that, fear doesn't get to take the lead. The psalm isn't pretending the ground never shakes. It's saying shaking ground isn't the final authority. There's something steadier underneath it. Sometimes life feels like that imagery. Plans shift, expectations move. What felt solid suddenly changes. But the psalm anchors you before the storm gets loud. God is already refuge. Our Father is already strength. Our Father is already present. That changes the posture of your mind. You don't brace the same way. You don't react the same way. You respond differently when you know there's something firm beneath you. The psalm goes on to describe waters roaring and foaming. Again, it's not minimizing movement. It's acknowledging it, but it keeps circling back to one truth. There is a steadiness greater than the motion, and that steadiness belongs to God. Then comes a quieter image. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God. While everything else sounds loud and unstable, there's a river. Not chaotic water, not crashing waves, a river. Steady, flowing, life-giving. It's a contrast. Even in the middle of movement, there is a current of peace. Even when circumstances shift, there is something nourishing running underneath. The psalm says, God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. In the midst, right in the center, our Father doesn't stand at the edge of your life offering commentary. He stands in the middle of it, in your work, in your decisions, in your responsibilities, in your conversations, in the middle. And because of that presence, movement around you doesn't have to mean collapse within you. You may feel pressure, you may feel change, but you are not unsupported. The psalm continues by describing nations moving and kingdoms shifting. Again, big imagery, large change. But every time instability is described, the psalm brings the focus back. God remains. Our Father remains. That repetition matters because the mind tends to magnify movement. It zooms in on what's changing. This psalm zooms in on what stays. Refuge, strength, presence. That's the foundation it keeps returning to. When you read Psalm 46 slowly, you realize it isn't building panic, it's building perspective. It's saying movement exists, but it doesn't outrank stability, and stability belongs to our Father. That's where this psalm begins. The psalm eventually brings us to a line many people recognize. Be still and know that I am God. That sentence is often quoted on its own, but in context, it follows all the movement we just heard about. Ground shaking, waters roaring, nations shifting. And in the middle of that, this instruction appears. Be still. This isn't a command to empty your mind. It isn't meditation language. It's more like this. Stop striving. Stop gripping. Stop trying to control everything at once. The original idea carries the sense of letting go, releasing tension, loosening your hold. That feels very different than trying harder. It's not telling you to fix the storm. It's reminding you that you don't run it. Be still is less about silence and more about surrender. It's a shift in posture. You can pause. You can stop bracing for a moment. You can let your shoulders lower, because stability doesn't depend on how tightly you hold everything together. It rests in who God is. And know that I am God. Know doesn't mean memorize information. It means recognize, remember, settle into what is true. God is still God. Our Father is still steady. Our Father is still present. That hasn't shifted, even if circumstances have. The psalm doesn't deny movement. It recenters you in the middle of it. You don't have to match the noise with more noise. You don't have to outthink every possible outcome. You don't have to carry responsibility that was never yours. Sometimes the strongest move is to stop pushing and remember who holds the bigger picture. Be still is permission. Permission to breathe without solving. Permission to trust without predicting. Permission to rest your mind for a moment. Because our Father isn't shaken by what feels overwhelming to you. He isn't surprised. He isn't scrambling. He remains steady. That steadiness becomes your anchor. The psalm closes with a repetition. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. But instead of focusing on the old language, listen to what it's saying. God is with you, not symbolically, not theoretically. With you. Fortress means protection that holds, not fragile support, not temporary shelter, solid protection. The psalm begins with refuge and ends with fortress. It opens with strength and closes with presence. It repeats stability on purpose. Because when the mind feels unsettled, repetition helps. You don't need new truth. You need steady truth. God is refuge. God is strength. God is present. God remains. And when you sit with that long enough, the internal pace begins to slow. Not because the world stopped moving, but because your foundation feels firm. You can let the movement happen without letting it take over your mind. You can take the next step without needing to control the entire path. You can move through today with steadiness instead of strain. Our Father is not distant from your responsibilities. He is in the middle of them. He is not observing from afar. He is near, and when you remember that, something shifts. The noise may still exist, but it doesn't get the final word. Let that settle in for a moment. Our Father, that's where this psalm begins.